What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Snack Time. My name is Ben, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at BentoPDF. So I assume most of you have probably used PDFs in your life, and usually the Acrobat reader is kind of limited, shall we say, and the things that you can do without buying a subscription. And so that's where this open source project comes in. It's self-hosted. We're going to be putting it on Docker, and it's going to give you the ability to make a lot of those changes that are kind of paywalled off when you're working with Adobe. Let's go ahead and jump in. I want to show you all the features, and then I'll show you how to install it. Very simple, very easy, not going to take any time at all. And it's going to save you, I think, a lot of money and a lot of time. So let's go ahead and jump on in. And this is the one that I have set up on my environment. This is exactly how it looks out of the box. It looks just like a website. You can click on the About section and it takes you to different parts of the page. But I'm going to show you something really cool. The developer also gave us a version that has all of this information and everything stripped out of it. And the only thing you have is the tools. So don't let this turn you off immediately at all. So these are all the different things that it can do, and we're talking like a lot of different options. You can sign pages, delete pages, extract, duplicate. You can insert white pages. You have a kind of a multi-purpose tool here. One thing that I love that I haven't seen too many of these self-hosted PDF editors do is the ability to create fillable forms. That's one thing that I think a lot of people want to do with their PDFs is make it so that you can type into them. So if we click on, let me show you this one. So go ahead and get create PDF. I'm going to select one. I'm just going to go ahead and do this sample right here. And for this one, let's say we wanted to put in, we have a couple options. We could do checkboxes, radios, drop-down lists, buttons, signature spot, images. Now let's say we just want someone to be able to fill out some text. So we'll put right here, let's put this little text box right there, and we can resize it if we want to, make it bigger. You have a bunch of options over here on the left as well. Don't know if you can see those pretty well, but we can do a text color, font size required. Is it a reload only? Does it have a border? It's alignment, multi-line, all sorts of really good options. And once we do make those changes, you'll see at the very bottom here, you'll just have a download PDF button, and we can just click on that. So mine tries to download, but since it's an insecure site, you'll see at the top here, the kind of the browsers are saying, are you sure you want to download this from an insecure website? And you just hit keep, and it will basically let you to download this fillable form.pdf. So if you don't get a pop-up right away, check your browser. Moving on, let's take a look at a couple of the other options that we have. Let's see here. We can do a little bit of table of contents. We can insert page numbers into our PDF, change the background colors, invert the colors. Let's crop the PDF. Here, let's do this. There's I believe, yeah, we can convert it to convert the JPEG to a PDF, WebP, SV, like all sorts of different images you can convert to PDFs. And then you can also go the flip-flop way. You can go PDF to any of these different like formats, even JSON, which is kind of cool. So let's see here. We can also remove any sort of, we can edit the metadata. If you look at the bottom here, you can also remove metadata as well. So if there's any sort of personal or metadata that you're worried about being inside of your PDF, you can strip that with just a click of a button. There's, like I said, tons of different things you can do, much more than we're going to take time to go into. But I just want to kind of point out some of the really cool ones. Let's see if there's an editor. Oh, actually, let me do this. There is a search button here at the top. So we can click on this search and fill that out. We have PDF multi-tool. We have PDF editor, and this one annotate, highlight, redact, comment. So let's do this. Let's click on the PDF editor, and let's go ahead and drop in our sample. All right, so here's our PDF editor, and we can do a couple of basic things here. So let's see, we have a couple of options. We can do view, annotate, redaction. Redaction's really cool. Let's do this. I don't think I can make this full screen. But let's see. And we got a sidebar. I think if I make it full screen, it's just going to blow up my screen. Oh, no, it's not too bad. This is just within the browser, so this is good. All right, so let's see. Let's do the... let's select on redact. So let's say we want to redact this whole paragraph. All right, so we've selected it. We can highlight it. Let's zoom in here. We can underline it, strike through, squiggly section, or redact. And yes. Okay, and there we go. We've redacted that section. Very cool. That's a pretty common one too. Or we can just make shapes. So that's neat. All right, so let's moving on. And oh my gosh, we can just change the fill. Oh, okay, we can do a whole bunch of stuff on this. All right, let's do this. Let's jump out of full screen. And when you are done, I believe you can just pretty much just go to this little thing right here and click download, and it will let you download your new PDF with the new shapes and the redaction that you put in there. All right, let's see if there's anything else that's really cool. Compress, I like compressed PDF, mostly because like if you're working with a lot of images and everything, you're converting them to a PDF, typically they're going to be like the full resolution, and it may result in a very large PDF. So if you're worried about the size of your PDF, you could come in here to compress. We could drop in our sample. And here we go. We have a couple of different compression levels, balanced, extreme, and the different ways that it's going to be doing its compression. So very nifty right there. Very cool. All right, moving on. Let's see what else we got. Extract pages. You can add watermarks. You can change the text color. Add headers and footers. Like I said, so much stuff that we can do here. One thing you may be looking at is the decrypt PDF. That's not going to hack into your PDF for you. It is going to ask you for a password. Let's see here. Yeah, so it's going to ask you enter the current password. So if you're thinking, oh, this thing will hack into PDFs for me, you're probably going to be disappointed. Well, there is software out there, but it doesn't have such a pretty interface. All right, let's go ahead. Let's move on. All this stuff is pretty... it's pretty straightforward. Let's look at the other editor right here at the top that we were just we were going to look at, because it looks like there's two of them. There's the multi-tool. Okay, so the multi-tool. All right, so we can go ahead and we can open up this one, and we can, looks like we can rearrange pages if we want to. We can upload additional pages. So if you wanted to combine some PDFs, here we got our two identical PDFs, and we can make them look a certain way. We can rotate their pages. Let's see, we select this one and then rotate left, and there we go. A nice upside down page for somebody. Duplicate, split, and then once we're all done, we can also just export it. So very neat. Like I said, my favorite feature of this whole software is the ability to create those forms and the fields that you can fill out. That's pretty awesome. That's why that was the first thing that I saw, and I was like, I've definitely got to do a video on this, because I'm sure there's other people just like me that have wanted to use one of these pieces of software, but it was missing like that crucial piece of being able to create those little fillable forms. Because honestly, that's the main thing that I've used, that I've paid for Acrobat, is just that little feature. So yeah, everything is compliant, your data is secure, yada yada yada. And let's move on to the installation, which I think you're going to find very, very simple. So we are going to need a couple of things before you jump right into there. We're going to need our own server, preferably using Docker, because this is a Docker image. I believe there is a bare bones installation if you want to go that route, but we're going to use Docker. We're also going to use Nginx Proxy Manager, because we want to go ahead and make this internet facing and add some security on it, so we can download files without it complaining about a lack of certificate. And we're also going to add, we're going to give it a subdomain. So just in case, hey, maybe I'm setting this up for my company and I want my company to be able to go to pdf.acme.com, and to be able to do all of their PDF work without me having to buy a bunch of subscriptions. So that's the route I'm going to take. I'm also going to show you at what point you can just leave it installed locally. And when we deviate from that, I'll let you know, so you can, call it a day if that's all you want to do and you don't want it to be internet facing. All right, let's go ahead and move on to installation, and I'll see you over there in just a second. All right, well, welcome to the installation portion of this video. We are going to start where we usually do, and that is at the GitHub page. So we have the GitHub page right here. The address is at the top of the screen here. I'm also going to be putting it down below and into the description in case you just want to click on it. All right, so let's do this. Let's go ahead and scroll down. And here are all the different features of this software. Tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons. So if we keep on scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, here are the ways that you can install it if you just want to install it on a bare bones machine. That's very cool. Here is our recommended action that is using the Docker Compose. We're going to be using Portainer. And before you do this version right here that you're looking at, that's the version with all of the extra text and fluff on the site. That's the, completely secure, free, use it as much as you want to. But there has been a version that has been requested on GitHub for a slimmed down version, none of the fluff, just the tools, because they wanted to use it for their company. Very admirable. All right, and that's the version that we're going to install because the installation is identical. So I want to show you, even though I'm using the slimmed down version, you could use this version if you really wanted to. I don't know that you're going to, but hey man, it's up to you. You can do it if you want to. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and scroll up. And what we want to be looking for is right here. You see where it says simple mode. We click on simple mode. And simple mode has hidden navigation, hidden heroes, features, facts, support. Everything is hidden. And it's in this own independent image right here. I'm going to go ahead and copy this guy. And let's go ahead and head over to our Portainer. I'm going to go to stacks. I'm going to add a new stack, and I'm going to call it BentoPDF. You can call it whatever you want. I'm going to paste this in here, and we are going to take a look at this compose because we always like to make sure that we know what is being installed. And in our instance here, this is going to be a short one. So we are defining the Bento service here. The image it's going to be using is the BentoPDF-simple. That's where these, how you differentiate between the simple and the one with all the fluff. Next up, we have our ports. And remember, I told you I was going to let you know when we deviated from the host it yourself locally versus the, going out and putting it internet facing. Well, this is the part of that video. This ports right here is basically telling the container and Docker to expose port 3000 on your network and let anybody get to it, unsecurely. And that's fine if that's what you want. But I prefer to make mine secure, and one of the byproducts is going to be making it internet facing and giving it a domain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment out these ports, which is going to basically make it so that it's not going to be listening on port 3000. It's going to have to go through my Nginx Proxy Manager in order to get access. So this is an optional step, totally up to you. Some people may want to host it just like this as, on their local network or something and not make it internet facing. And that's why I kind of like run through those. All right, so if we scroll down, this is going to be really fast. Deploy stack. And there we go, we're deployed. Next up, like I said, this is going to go really fast. We're going to go to Nginx. Right here, I'm going to go to my containers. I'm going to go to my Nginx Proxy Manager container. And I'm going to go scroll down, and I want to join the same network as my newly created container, my BentoPDF. So I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller. And what we're going to do is I'm going to drop down and select the BentoPDF network. So I'm going to join that. And now that I'm joined to that network, my container can now talk to the other containers on this network, as well as the one that they default to. All right, so next up, we have to configure our subdomain. For that, I'm going to be using Namecheap. All right, so now we're over here at Namecheap. We are going to be configuring an A record, which is going to allow us to set up a subdomain for this new website we have. So let's go ahead and click on Add New Record. I'm going to select A record here, and I'm going to just type in PDF. And I'm going to copy the external IP address of my server and paste it in there. I'm now going to hit Save Changes. And what this does is this makes sure that anytime I go to pdf.synhow.com, that it's going to forward me off to this IP address. All right, now we get to configure our Nginx Proxy Manager. Hope we're not going too fast for you, but there is not a lot of steps. We're just going to go ahead and get through them. Feel free to review this video as many times as you need to. Let's go ahead and create a new proxy host under Nginx Proxy Manager. Let's go ahead and hit Add New. And let's zoom in just a little bit so you can see everything that you want to see. I'm going to go ahead and type in pdf.synhow.com. Hit enter. Now it's going to ask me, okay, well, I got that domain. Awesome. Where do you want me to send it to? And for this, we're not going to use the IP address of the other container. We are going to use the name because the IP address may change, whereas the name shouldn't. Let's go back to Portainer. Let's go to our containers. And it looks like it's just BentoPDF. That's our container name right here. I'm going to copy that guy, paste him in here. And now we're going to make sure there's no spaces. Spaces will mess you up every time. So let's check. Let's zoom in. Oh, I see a space. Ha ha ha. Got him. Every single time, man. All right. Next up, we need to know what port we're going to be forwarding this traffic to. For that, let's reference back to the Docker compose file. Now, we were talking about ports just a little bit ago. This one on the left is the port that Docker was going to expose to the network. That's port 3000, but it's forwarding traffic from 3000 to 8080. So that's the port that we need to give Nginx Proxy Manager. All right, let's go back here. Boom, and drop them in here. I'm going to block common exploits. I'm going to enable WebSocket support just in case, and I'm going to go ahead and hit save. I'm going to drink my coffee. And now I'm going to set up an SSL certificate so that this little guy is going to be nice and secure. Go ahead and edit. Boom. And let's go to SSL. And let's drop this down. Let me give it a zoom in. Let's drop this down and request a new certificate. I'm going to force SSL, not optional. And I think that's it. Let's hit save. Let's see how this goes. So if everything goes okay, this window should just fly away and we shouldn't get an error. But if you do, there's a couple of things that you can check. Yeah, we're good. There's a couple of things you can check. Make sure you did the spelling right. Also, make sure you've given enough time to propagate. In case you did this in a different order, you may run into that error message. Maybe give it like 10 or 15 minutes. All right, so now this is set up. It says it's online. It says it's encrypted. Let's go ahead and head off to this URL. So we click on pdf.synhow.com, and here we go. We are fully secure. We don't have a lot of fluff. We have only the cool tools, and I'm going to move my head. So this is pretty much all you need. And none of the fluff, just ready to go. Only thing it has is a little bit of BentoPDF up here. All right, well, hopefully that was helpful. This is a really short one, but I think one that I think is going to do a lot of people a lot of good. So if you have any questions, comments, please feel free to leave them down below. If not, I would definitely appreciate you clicking the subscribe and like button. And if you didn't like this video, you can hit the thumbs down and you can tell me why you think it didn't cover and meet your needs, and I'll do better to improve in the future. All right, hope you guys have a good week. It's nice to see you again and talk to you soon. Bye.